Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Feed with your host Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher for your digital resources. Check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com. 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying, so let them help you. So, first thing I want to say is I want to say a special thank you very much to all my guests this weekend. We had a great weekend of having three um, great guest hosts in a row. We started off the week with Sir Tony Ray, or we started off the weekend, I should say, with Sir Tony Ray from RS Glory and Gold, telling us his story about bullying. Then we went on to our good friend, seven-time Emmy Award-winning sports broadcaster David Stevens, and then Miss Kamei from Kamei International. Miss Kamei International rounded off our weekend, and it was good. You got to hear a lot of stories from different people. You got to see a lot of different people. You got to see someone that was limp different. You got to see someone that was older, a lot older than most. And you got to see a plus size women who all have stories of bullying, which tells you guys that you're really not alone when it comes to bullying. And that's something that you really got to understand, that you're really not alone. So today I was going to do I'm going to do the topic today about yoga. Because I know some of you have told me truly a lot of negative things about yoga, or how boring it is. And there's one thing about yoga, it's something you have to try. You cannot say, I don't like yoga, simply because you think it's going to be boring. Yoga is one of those things that will surprise you, okay? It's a lot like eating right. When you eat right, you'll find, thank you Tully for joining us, you'll find that when you eat right, you'll find that it will surprisingly help you. And yoga is the same way. So I wanted to do something about yoga, and I was going to do one of my series, the segments of how yoga benefits you, but I decided not to do that because I wanted to give you my point of view about yoga. So this episode we're calling How Yoga Helped Me. All right, guys, how yoga helped me. And one of the first things when it comes to yoga for me is that yoga was just something I did once in a while. It wasn't something I did every day. It wasn't something I did every week, once a week. It was something I honestly did like maybe once every 30 days, like a massage, which I've learned, like when it comes to massaging, I've learned that you shouldn't just do massaging once in a while. You should get a massage as often as you can. Maybe once a week or something in that neighborhood. So yoga is the same way. Yoga is not something that you should do, once a month, once every 6 months. It's something you should do every day. And if you really want to get into it, yoga should be done in the morning, in the afternoon, and then at night. But if you feel that you just want to do it once a day, that's fine too. So I'm going to tell you how yoga helped me. So first of all, how yoga helped me is that 2 years ago I was supposed to have surgery on my shoulder, my right shoulder. And then it turned out that I was moving to where I currently live now. So the doctor was like, well, I'm booked up. I can't get you until I believe it was like July, around the same time. It was in July, yes, if I remember correctly. And we were leaving on the 19th. I'll never forget that. We were leaving on the 19th to move to the island that we live on now. And doctor said, I can't get you in until the 24th. And then that's when I told the doctor, well, then I can't have the surgery. Plus, I didn't want to have the surgery. My aunt had the same surgery and she was out of commission for a while. So I didn't want to be on the plane, possibly bumping into people or people bumping into me after I just had surgery. So I opted to just forget about surgery. And I'm so glad, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in faith, whatever you believe in, God was with me that day, because so many people I know that had the surgery that I was going to have are in a lot of pain afterwards. So I'm so glad that I didn't have the surgery, because that's when I found yoga. Not that I found yoga. I can say yoga was probably like a friend that I haven't touched base with in a long time. And then I decided that I was going to touch base with it only because they had a great instructor on the base that I live at. She's really good. She is really, really good. So what ended up happening is I said, okay, I'm not going to have the surgery. So when I got to my new place of living, I figured that I would start doing something to start kind of working out the situation, because I was not in a place, to be honest. I had seen a second doctor for a second opinion, and the second doctor said, you don't need surgery, and I would not have surgery if I was you. So I did a thing that you guys should always do when you're dealing with an issue, and I did the pros and cons. And there was a con that people that I know that had the surgery are in pain years after they have the surgery. Okay? Never go under the knife. It's never good to go under the knife. Another thing I guess could be a pro was that the second doctor I went to see said I shouldn't do a surgery. Shouldn't have surgery. So with all that in mind, I opted not to have surgery. So I came and I started getting into yoga. I met the yoga instructor on the base where I live. And I told her, I have a bad shoulder. Can you help me? And she taught me a lot of things that not only yoga, but also dance. She was a dance instructor before she was a yoga instructor. So she taught me a lot of things that you can do in dance that they do in ballet and everything. And I started doing those things as well to help me with my yoga. So I was doing yoga 5 days a week. And so I want to show you a few of the moves that I've done for my shoulder. So first, let me tell you this first real quick. So I do have a strap, and I have 2 yoga blocks. But you don't have to get these things. That's the one thing I want to tell you. A large towel, or a long beach towel can take place of the strap. And you can roll up a towel to take place of the blocks. So just so you know, because I know a lot of people, let me dump that to the side. I know a lot of people don't want to get into yoga because, now I have to buy things for it. No, you don't. Just so you know that. And the other thing that I want to say before I show you the yoga moves that I particularly like. When I injured my wrist at work, my employer paid for therapy, for physical therapy. And it was very funny that I'm working with a lot of things. It was my wrist, so I'm working with this, I don't know what to call it, this device where it's a circle and it's made of a net, and you put your hands in it and you try to pull your hands back into the net, and you take it out and you pull your hands back. And I remember telling the therapist that I really like that device. That's really good. And he's like, oh, I can get you a device like this for, I don't know, $100 something. And it's really funny because in yoga, you pretty much do those things in that help you, and it's inexpensive and it's free because you have a floor. It's like I said, if you want to buy the blocks and the belt, you can, but you don't need that stuff. All you need is a floor, maybe a wall, and that's it. And all the moves that you do will help you with that. Sonic Boom Girl, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from, Sonic Boom? So, first move. This move here really helps my lower back, and it helps my shoulders because my shoulders are in between my legs. I don't know if you can see that. They're in between my legs going all the way to the back. So that's something, if you have back pain, this is something you want to try out a lot. Okay? Next move that I like is Downward Dog. Very famous move. This move helped me a lot with my shoulder. We are from, I hope I pronounced that right. We are from, where are you from? I hope I pronounced your name right. Tell me your name. So Downward Dog helps with your back. What it does is when we stand up and walk around all the time, our bones push up against one another. And when you do this, it opens it up and it airs it out, and it allows the back to stretch a little bit. Abric Bully, I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for joining the show. And this also, for me, this also helped my shoulders a lot too. So Downward Dog is very good. And the funny thing about Downward Dog is that they have this device that you lay in, and then it flips you and it inverts you upside down, right? I don't know the name of that device, but that device is expensive. This move, simple move, just by doing this on the ground, gives you the same kind of help that expensive, apparatus does. So this is the thing that's so great about yoga. Everything that you need to keep your back in tune and keep your back right and keep your body right is all in yoga. So this is another move that helped me. Going up and down with the rope, or like I said, you can do this with a towel. Going up and down. You can go forward and back as well. I don't have a picture of that, but you can go forward and back will kind of do the same thing, help your shoulders. And my yoga instructor gave me this move to help me with my shoulders and my condition in my shoulders that almost led me to get surgery. So going up and down like this will really help you out. So you want to continue to do this if you have bad shoulders like I do. Or even, the great thing about this is that we can do these things to prevent. For prevention, if you don't want to be in this situation, you can do these moves to kind of help you out. So remember that too. Here's another move that I like here. This helps with your back, okay? So it's two angles that you're seeing it in. This helps with your lower back as well. So if you have lower back issues, this is something you definitely want to do. So and anything you do with one, you want to remember to do with the other, guys. So if you're doing this with one foot, you want to do it with the left foot, you want to do it with the right one as well. Another move that I did to help my shoulder was this move here. So you put one leg up in the air and one leg against the floor. And for all you kids, make sure that you get your parents' permission before doing any of these things I tell you. And make sure that you speak to a professional before doing any things I tell you. I'm not a professional. I'm just here to tell you what worked for me. So, and then once you have both feet, you can you can put your other foot up there as well. But staying in this position, letting the blood flow down and letting your shoulders really get that workout. You know, when I first had to have surgery, I could not do this. I tried it, so it was a real triumph for me to end up doing this, but I know that I couldn't do it at first. I could not do this at first. But the more you go on, the more you strengthen your shoulders if you happen to have bad shoulders. And it was a bad shoulder situation where I couldn't lift my shoulder over my head. Now I can, as you can see. So if you're in that situation, this is how you want to start. You want to start with a little downward dog and then move up to actually supporting almost your whole body. And then eventually you'll get off the wall. I haven't got that far ahead, but eventually you will get off the wall and you just be doing a handstand. Another thing I do to help my shoulders is this move here. Oh, you really can't see it because the photo's in the way, but I mean the video's in the way. But I'm actually touching the wall next to me. So thank you for smashing that heart. So you end up touching the wall, and remember, guys, the important thing to remember is whatever you do to one side, you want to do to the other side. Whatever you do to one side, you want to do to the other. So if you do it on your left side, you want to jump over to your right. And this will help you if you have trouble lifting your shoulders over your head. Another move I like, which helps with my back, is this move here. And unfortunately, with this move, you can't see. I'm actually showing you guys how to start it off. See my hand? I'm holding myself up with the wall. You can't see it because the picture's cut off. And in this picture, I'm holding my foot up against, I'm leaning my foot up against the wall. And you can do that to kind of get that strength that you need to actually do it like this alone. See, now in this picture, you can't tell, of course, but I'm actually not using the wall or I'm not using anything. I'm just standing up on one leg, so you'll eventually get to that. Tully says, wowzers, that's quite a huge exercise. Yeah, it can last an hour normally, yoga, but like I said, if you just do the moves that I show on here, this is probably a 15-minute, it's gotta be a 15-minute exercise. Or you could always make, you can go to Vimeo.com, do a search for, yoga, and you can find some yoga exercises, and you can find 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you have time for, and just kind of do it real quickly on your own. You can do this, if you have an office, or if you're not embarrassed to do this, you can do this in your office. There's some office moves you can do as well. Tully says, quick question, which sport team do you follow? Me? Sure, no problem. Me, I like the Yankees, okay, for baseball. I like, let me see, where I got a nice picture. Here, here's a good picture. I like the Knicks for basketball. Okay, I don't follow football anymore, so I can't tell you what team I like for football anymore. American football. I don't follow American football anymore because of what they did to Colin Kaepernick, the way they treat women reporters. So I don't follow football anymore, so football is out. But when it comes to baseball, it's the Yankees. Right here, the Yankees, or the Knicks for basketball. I do follow a little hockey sometimes. So when it comes to hockey, I'll either follow the Rangers, the Islanders, or the Las Vegas Golden Knights, because I used to live in Las Vegas. Tully says, I always thought that yoga is done on the floor. Not all yoga is done on the floor. And that's why I decided that I'm going to do this. I wanted to do this this video and tell you guys about what I like about yoga, because I know I get a lot of DMs after I talk about yoga. And it's either yoga's dumb, yoga's stupid, or I tried it and it's boring. Um, if it's what's really crazy is if you tried it and it was boring, I don't think you really gave it your all. You really got to get into the moves so that you're able to really get the best out of it. So you're really pushing your muscles to the end. To the max. So one of the ones that I like to do, if I ever go to Australia and to meet Tully and all my other friends in Australia, I'm gonna do this move after a long walk, and it's called feet up the wall. I don't know, but I like to do this. This rushes all the blood from your legs, from your heart, right into your heart, and recycles the blood quicker. Sometimes I will open my legs so that I can get a stretch in my legs as well, especially after I've been walking a long time. And sometimes, guys, this is all that I do. That's the great thing about yoga. Yoga is not, well, the only way to get the benefits of yoga is if you do everything I showed you today. That's not true, guys, and I want to take that myth out of you guys' heads. Sometimes, like I said, if I go walking, I might just do this, and that's it. Between the two, I'll start off like this. I'll end up falling asleep most of the time. And that's one thing that I want to mention too. If you're having trouble sleeping, do this. Do this, and you will see that it will put you to sleep. It's so relaxing, and it puts you to sleep. If you need to put like some thunderstorm sounds, that's my favorite. Thunderstorms or rain sounds or beach sounds along with it, do that. But I know that when I do this, and I always end up taking a little quick nap. So the key part of this is like this picture here that I'm showing. I don't know if you guys can see it, but underneath me, all the way in the bottom of the photo, if you can look, I have a towel. Now, usually I put my block there, but I didn't want to take a picture with my block because I wanted to show you that it can also be done with a towel. As long as you lift your hips higher than your heart, you shouldn't have any problem. But this move right here, feet up the wall, whatever it's called, I don't know what it's called. Like I said, I'm not a professional yoga person. I've just worked with a few, and this one right here will really help you to sleep. It will help get all that blood and recycle that blood throughout your body. Jin Finley, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from? It helps you recycle a lot. And if you have diabetes, I know that I had a cousin, thank you for smashing that heart. I know that I had a cousin who had diabetes, and I showed her this because what would happen is she unfortunately would walk around barefooted a lot and end up getting cuts on her feet, and they would not heal, because I don't know if it was a combination of her diabetes. I don't know what it was, if it had anything to do with her diabetes, but the cuts on her feet were not healed. So I told her that she needs to learn to start putting her feet up the wall, and I showed her this, and we did it a few times when I hung out with her, and she was finding that it was healing. She was getting less pain in her legs because of the diabetes. So feet up the wall helps a lot. So don't look. I hope you guys are taking a different look when it comes to yoga, since I've shown you this. Don't look at yoga as boring and stupid. Really, it's for me it's fun. It might not be fun for you, I could understand that, but if you really go and try to do the moves and really go to the edge on it, really go to the edge, really try to go to the edge and get a good instructor. I think that's important. My instructor, to be honest, the classes that I was in were very small, So she was able to give me a lot of one-on-one advice on the way I was doing things, because she saw me, she saw I wasn't doing things right, and but she didn't know why I wasn't. And then I told her I have bad shoulders, I can't lift my arms very high. And then that's when she realized, oh, so that's why you're not doing the moves right. So she would try to coach me to do the moves right. And it was a small class. Sometimes you get a big class that the instructor can't come around and tell everybody how they're doing things wrong. I constantly have lower back pain, etc. And I think I need to move the hips. Yeah, this move right here helps me out a lot with lower back pain. Tully, where's the other one? This one. This one helps me out a lot. There's a move you could look up, Tully. I didn't want to get all the moves out, but there's a move called Happy Baby. You can try that. There are moves. Oh, there's one move that I really like. I wish I would have took a picture of it. But what you want to try and do is try and twist that like this. Twist that back a lot, Tully, like this. Maybe lay down on the floor and twist that back a lot, and that will help you. That's what helps me. And Tully says, hit that heart, guys. That's right. Whether you're watching this now live or you're watching this in a recorded version, smash that heart, guys. Hit that heart. Yeah, lower back pain. Before you get out of bed, Tully, if you do Happy Baby, if you do I forget what it's called, but if twist your back on the bed and lift your legs up and twist your back lift your legs to the left and then lift your legs to the right, and before you get out of bed, you will see that the back pain won't be around so much. And let's see, where's the other one? This one too. If you do this one a lot, like I said, so your spine is like this. Everything is, from gravity, everything is hitting. Spine should be, a little bit like this because of the cushions you have in between. But because of we're always standing up, gravity pulls our spine down. If you do this move here, John Wood Dog, I forgot the move. It stretches that back out, and then it puts some air between the spine, and it shouldn't hurt so much. Ouch, that looks painful. Which one looks painful? Tully? Was it this one? When you first do it, yeah, I would guess that it's going to be painful for a while, but after a while it won't. It really won't, if that's the one you were talking about. It becomes second nature, or maybe second nature is not a good way to put it. But it just comes so easy to do it. But yeah, I would think at first it did hurt me. And you just don't push your body all the way to the ground, If you first do it and you can't get your head all the way to the ground, like I have my head all the way down to the ground, then you just go as far as you can. And that's all. And you could always stack your hands like this. I don't know if you can see that, but you could always stack your hands so that your face doesn't have to go all the way to the ground. Then next time you do it like this. Then the next time you do it like this. Next time you do it, you remove your hands. You'll get to that point where you can put your face flat on the ground, and it won't hurt anymore. I also suffer with pain in my knees whenever I'm kneeling. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna find out about that. I'm gonna find out from my yoga therapist. I'm gonna find out from her how what will help with pain in the knees, or what someone can do. But I would think that the way I look at it is how the body heals itself is when it gets a lot of oxygen into the body. So breathing exercises, my wife just bought herself a couple of months ago, a new iWatch. So I took her old iWatch And in there, it has a feature that you can do breathing exercises. So I set it up to do a breathing exercise to remind me to do a breathing exercise every 3 times a day. I should say 3 times a day. So breathe, getting in a lot of oxygen and moving around some of the toxins out of your body by exercising is a good way, I think, to get rid of a lot of pain. So when you put your feet up the wall, which is this one, if you guys remember, when you put your feet up the wall on this one, then you're renewing your feet and all your body parts with new blood. And I think that's key. That's really, really key to helping you. So remember that, guys. So let's see. So yeah, that's how yoga helps me. And Tully, if you have questions you want me to answer about yoga, let me know. I know that one question that I got was, how do I make yoga fun? If you don't want to start taking yoga, if you have the time and you want to start taking yoga at the gym, it's all up to that yoga instructor. Because I've had instructors that do the same thing all the time, and it gets so boring. And yeah, I understand. I totally understand. If you had that kind of instructor and you say yoga is boring to me, I totally understand that. But the instructor that I've had, that I've really had the last couple of months, they're always changing things up. They're always doing new things. They're always asking us what we want to do. And see, that's what's important. I always ask you guys, what do you guys want to talk about? I'm gonna need to start putting out more of those requests on what do you guys want to do? What do you guys want to talk about? Because I always make something more exciting. And these instructors always say, what part of your body is hurting today that you want to work on, and blah, blah, blah. And that's why I know so much that works for me. So if you don't have an hour for yoga, definitely do the moves that have helped your back. And what helps, and it's just like bullying, right? What works for me might not work for you. So do some yoga moves. Find out what works for you. And if you only have 5 minutes to do yoga, only do those 5 moves or 3 moves, whatever you have time for, the ones that really, really, really work for you. And always end it with some feet up the wall. Always end your, so if you only have 5 minutes, always save at least 1 minute for the feet up the wall, because it will calm you down. It will help you out a lot. And that's, my advice for you guys when it comes to that. Let's see what Tully says. How long do you have to remain in those positions? Very good question. That's why I'm always with an instructor. I would probably, what I would say is stay in the positions as long as you can. For maybe, if you can stay for 5 minutes in one position, then that's one thing. But if you're first starting out, I think that you should stay in the position good, rest in that position real good for as long as you can, so, because you never want to, yoga is not about pain, yoga is not about, well, look, I can stay in this position for 12 hours, that's not what yoga is about. Yoga is not about pain. So if you're starting to feel pain, that should be a good point to either move to, if you were working on the left side, move to the right side, or if you've worked on both sides already, then moving to a different position. Good question, Tully. Not very long. There should be no, remember this, there should be no pain in yoga. And that's the great thing about yoga. So you get into a move and you can only stay into that move for 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Fine, move on to the next one. You will see that, because that's what was happening to me. When it came to real aggressive shoulder ones, putting my hands over my head and stuff like that. I couldn't do that very long. And I was never criticized for that, blah, blah, blah. And then before you know it, I can keep my hands over my head all the time. And it's just a gradual thing. And that's the thing about yoga. You don't judge yourself when you're doing yoga, you know. Men's health doesn't get talked about much. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I think that because men think that they're macho and that, you go out and you lift and all that, and that's not, we guys need to start learning to be in touch with our softer side. That's for sure. As men, we need to start learning to stick with be in touch with our softer side. That's for sure. So good points, Tully. Tully also says, I think lots of people would benefit from yoga because so many people suffer from anger on the roads. Yes, that's another thing. When after a hard day and I go to yoga, I feel so relaxed afterwards. And it's really funny because I have talked to instructors, and instructors have told me that you've come in and you have this look on your face, like the world is pissing you off, and when you leave out here, you're happy and smiling, and so yeah. So, but it is, people hear the word yoga and they don't wanna get involved. They don't want to take it serious, and that's a shame. I know that I had a friend who had shoulder problems, just like mine. Probably they might be a little different, but they were just like mine. And his wife told him about yoga. His wife came to our yoga class, and he started coming, and then he just stopped. And his excuses to me seemed that they were just because. Nail Bread, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from, Nail Bread? It's just, I don't know. He probably didn't feel very manly doing those moves. I can tell you right now, if you don't feel manly doing yoga, then step it up. There are a lot of guys that really they do some tough yoga. I can't even keep up with the yoga that they do, to be honest. They go from one move to another without any real breaks. Every time that you go through a break, you should do some breathing exercises. Like breathe about 3 times. You want to do that, and then you go on to the next exercise. But I've done some yoga with some guys that there's no breathing exercises. You go from one to the next one to the next one, and they're all very difficult. And that kicks my butt. I'm gonna be honest. That kicks my butt. I can't do those. I'm gonna be totally honest, But there's no reason to be embarrassed about that, or there's no reason to judge yourself, because I didn't judge myself. I just simply said to myself, wow, this is some serious stuff here, and that's it. And didn't really judge myself. So don't judge yourself. I think that you'll find that yoga is not boring if you really put your mind into it. So that's all I gotta say. My oldest son has joined the Up for weight training. The Up. What is the Up? Or is that supposed to be something else? But your son has gotten into weight training, huh? Good. I remember when I was 15. Tully says, I'm so proud of him. Yeah, you should be, yeah. I remember I was 15 years old when I seriously got into weightlifting or weight training. I messed around with it at 14, but I was never really serious, But when I turned 15, that's when I really started watching my sets, watching my reps, and really taking it serious at 15. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. I think that's like a very important part of a kid's life. I think when they finally get into the weightlifting. That's for sure. So, and after um, every class ends, we always say namaste. That's a way of ending it. So I'm gonna end this show with a little namaste as well. Christina Penelope, thank you for joining the show. I pronounced that wrong, and I'm sorry, Christine. Where are you from, Christine? So yeah, that's it. So like I said, just pick. Go to Vimeo.com. Try to find some instructional videos on yoga videos, and just kind of do some. Pick the ones you like, and then at least 5 minutes a day, at least, guys. Do that, and maybe 10 minutes a day. 5 minutes of yoga, 5 minutes of putting your foot up the wall, and you're gonna see that you're gonna feel so much better. And if you don't have time to do any of it, remember to do the feet up the wall. If you have no time for nothing, do the feet up the wall. If you can't sleep tonight, Tully, if you find you can't sleep, do this feet up the wall. You'll see how fast you will fall asleep. Maybe put a blanket down and get really comfortable, because if you fall asleep, then that way you can just kind of stay there for a while. But I enjoy feet up the wall. Like I said, sometimes when I'm just fatigued, but I don't have time to do anything else, I'll do this for 10 minutes, and I'm good to go. Parasha Gradi, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from? But let's see here. So, yeah, I think, hello there. I think that yoga is very good. And I thought that I would do this show because, like I said, I was getting a lot of negative things from you guys about yoga. And I just wanted to get rid of those myths. You don't have to do it for an hour. You don't even have to do hard moves, guys. You don't have to do hard moves. You can do this one right here and just stay like that for a while, and then do foot up the wall, and that's it. And you're good to go. And that's it. And that could be your yoga. But I'm telling you, when you do it, you'll find that you're more relaxed when it's done. And again, you can just take a towel and just do this one here, and do that for 5 minutes, and then foot up the wall, and you're good to go. So you don't. I think that's what scares a lot of people about yoga, is they think, well, I got to devote a whole hour to it in order to feel the benefits, and you don't. You really don't. And that's the good thing about it. So that's going to do it for me on this episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. And I hope you like my How Yoga Helped Me segment. Tully says, peace, my brother. I've got to go. See you soon. All right, namaste to you. Take care, Tully. So Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying. Please, everyone, smash that heart. Also brought to you by Vimeo. Vimeo is also a sponsor of ours. So remember to go to Vimeo, do a search for yoga, maybe 5-minute yoga. You might find a nice 5-minute one that for lower back, one for, whatever is bothering your knees. And I'll find out what my instructor says about yoga for bad knees. All right, so that's going to do it for us. Remember, guys, that anyone can wear the crown. Anyone can be a hero. Be kind to one another, and have a great day. Bye now.